Well, good Tuesday morning to everybody this morning. As you can see, beautiful blue sky behind me. We only seem to get a rain at night, but yeah. So we're reading through Kings, Second Kings, and it's the age of Elijah has now ended, and well, at least we're reading about the age of Elijah ending and Elisha taking over. And you'll notice that the prophets weren't too easy on people. Those poor soldiers who came, who were only obeying the king, who were burned up from the fires of heaven with Elijah and then with Elisha, the bear that he sent or is sent to attack those who are mocking him. Um, we have this thing, maybe not in all circles, but in some of the circles that I'm in, where we pattern ourselves after leadership. Patterns itself after the Old Testament style of leadership, and even prophets. People pattern themselves after the Old Testament prophets, and we're told that really John was the end of that. Um, so we have this thing where we're you can just taste the Old Testament over some of the leaders that we have in the church, at least in some circles of the church, and and so we see that they feel that if they're offended, they have every right to take vengeance. If somebody comes against them, they can call down curses. And they follow in this line of Elijah and Elisha and so many others. But we're under a new covenant, and a new, better example has been given to us, the example of Jesus Christ. If you remember, the disciples wanted to follow a line with the Old Testament prophets as well, and when Jesus was rejected or ignored in some cities, they wanted to call down the fires of heaven upon those cities. And Jesus turned around and said, "You guys don't get it. I haven't come to take life. I've come to give life. I've come to save life." And Jesus clearly demonstrated and even taught that leadership in the kingdom isn't what it looks like um, in the world at all. That if you want to be a leader in the kingdom, then you need to learn how to be a servant. That the church isn't here to serve its leaders. The leaders had come in with a humble spirit to serve the church. That's what we're here for, and we're not allowed to take offense. We sometimes just have to suck it up, and we're not here to call out people. We're not here to punish. This is an age of grace. We're here. You have to be so careful when you say these things, because we're not here to let people get away with stuff either, but we're here to help them. We're not here to force anybody into anything. We can't force them away from sin, but we can help them. We can instruct them. We can help them to see the kingdom's perspective. We can help them to see the mind of Christ. But we always deal with them with love and with grace, with generosity, with overabundance of love, not with Old Testament prophet stuff, with the attitude of Jesus Christ. We are His followers. We don't pattern ourselves after an Elijah or Elisha. We pattern ourselves after Jesus Christ. It's His mind that we have. It's His nature that we have. And yeah, we kind of messed up on this thing over the years, but it's never too late to get back to where we're supposed to be with all of this. So just keep that in mind. Just lose the condemnation. You're not under condemnation. Don't put anybody else under condemnation. And we're here to help each other, to lift each other up, to encourage each other, not to call out each other's sins. So let's try walking in that. Let's get this thing down with Jesus before we start. I'm not saying ignore the Old Testament. The Old Testament is there so we can understand the roots of things, so we can discover the Father's heart, even at that time. And it's wonderful when you begin to see the Father's heart in the Old Testament. It's really fantastic. Um, but it's a new covenant, people. Have a blessed and wonderful day.